We have removed every part of manual labor from the process of making firewood, with the exception of one thing. Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. I kind of teased in our last video that we have almost the perfect model firewood yard set up down here, with the exception of one area that still needs improving, and that is cleaning up and removing the scrap that comes off of the barrel screener. So you guys have seen our process, right? We use the excavator to load logs onto the live deck of the Eastimate Evo firewood processor. The live deck brings them into a trough. It has a saw that cuts the wood, drops into another trough where it splits the wood, sends it up a conveyor into this barrel screener. As the barrel screener spins, all of the fines and loose debris fall into this Ultratech dump trailer. All of the wood that's too big to fit through those gaps goes up a conveyor and into an IBC tote, and then we use a tractor or the mini skid to take the IBC totes full of wood down into the drying yard. We do not touch the firewood by hand at all, with the exception of one step in the process, and that is removing this scrap from underneath the barrel screener. We have it in a dump trailer, an ATV Ultratech dump trailer. The problem is the placement of those axles is too far forward on this specific model, so when it tips up and dumps, it hits the ground before it gets to a steep enough dump angle that the material will just fall out. So what I end up having to do is get a pitchfork and rake it all out by hand, and that's time consuming, and it's my least favorite part of the entire process to this point. And today we've got a solution that we're going to go ahead and replace the way we used to do it with a new way. I'm going to go ahead and get this one emptied out for the last time. So I'll show you what I mean when I say that this thing does not eject its material when you dump it. And this isn't even full. See what I mean? That is in the full dump angle there, and the material is not dumping out. So I have to come down here and manually remove all of this. And again, this is going to go quicker because it wasn't full, but you can imagine when this thing is full, that is a lot of material to shovel out of here. Now don't get me wrong, this trailer is a great ATV pull-behind trailer. I'm not here to bash Ultratech. I think this is an awesome trailer if you don't plan on using it for dumping material. If you're planning on using it, like we've used it to get things back to our campsite when we go camping, tents and chairs and things that you're going to load in and pull out by hand, or if you're using it to go back in the woods to get firewood and you're gonna bucket up into rounds and put them in here and go straight from here to your splitter, something like that. This is a great trailer, but if you're gonna be using it to dump material out, I can't in good conscience recommend this trailer. For our purposes of parking underneath that barrel screener, we've got something that is going to work out much better, and that is a self-dumping hopper for the front of the tractor. This is a Wright self-dumping hopper, but it is distributed by Express Steel. I actually reached out to Express Steel and asked if they would be interested in sending us one of these to try out to see how well it would work in our application. They obliged, so I did not pay for this, but it is here for me to try out and show you guys how well it's going to work. I think it's going to work pretty awesome. They do make these in a bunch of different variations. This one is skid steer quick attach that mounts to the tractor or a skid loader or anything like that. It also has, as you can see, pallet forks underneath there. You can also get it where it's just pallet fork mounted, and then they have some kind of dumping mechanism on a hinge here where you release a pin and it will actually dump out, so you aren't using the curl or lift function on your machine to dump it. There's actually a mechanism down there that will dump itself. Given that I know I'm only ever going to be putting light material in here, all of the scrap from the firewood processor, I know that my tractor will be able to lift and dump this, so just doing the skid steer quick attach, I think for my application is going to be easier. But if you did have a heavier skid loader that could lift and dump more, this 2-yard bucket could handle up to 4,500 pounds. So because this is a 2-yard bucket, I've got way more capacity in here, so I'll have to empty it less frequently, which is going to allow me to make more firewood for longer periods of time without having to stop. And if I already have the tractor hooked up to it, I'll be able to hop in the tractor, pick this up, take it over to my dump pile, dump this out, and bring it back, put it back in place, all without getting out of the cab of the tractor or picking up a pitchfork anymore. Oh yeah, it's almost like it was made for it. Fits under here perfect. Boom. This is gonna be awesome. All right, we got the dump hopper placed in here. Like I said, this thing just fits like a glove. It was almost like it was made perfectly to sit under here. The other thing this allows me to do, because this is wider than that dump trailer was, you can see these trays, that it's actually slotted for adjustment. So before, I believe it was set right here so that those trays would come down and kind of funnel it into a smaller hopper. Now that we've got a larger hopper, I was able to go ahead and move it from this bolt hole all the way out to here. And that's gonna actually end up collecting more of the scrap that falls off this side. You can see all of that stuff used to spill out onto the ground right here beside it, and now we're gonna be capturing it, which is also gonna cut down on my cleanup time. But you can see we backed the dump trailer back in here. I'm going to go back to stacking, I think probably another 8 or 10 baskets, because I've got a special plan for some wood coming up here. All right, so after making that little bit of wood, we verified that this dump hopper does a fantastic job of catching the material. Now we need to verify that my tractor can dump the material. Now I'm confident that my tractor will be able to lift this all the way up. I don't have any problem with raising and lowering it. What I want to verify is that my curl function on my tractor will be able to dump it. Now with a normal bucket, the bottom would just be completely flat, so when you go to dump it, everything would just spill out. But with how this is designed with that front lip in there, I need to make sure before I load this thing completely full that I've got enough throw in my tractor bucket that I can dump and shake out the material that's inside there. We have an old saying in the accounting world, trust but verify. I trust that this hopper was designed with the proper geometry, that it'll be able to dump and eject all of its material, but I'm not so naive that I'm gonna sit here and completely fill this thing full only to find out that I'm gonna have to get the pitchfork back out. So we're gonna go ahead and try to dump just this little bit that's in here first, make sure we have the proper geometry to dump. Then I want to fully test it. I'm gonna grab the excavator, pick up a bunch of scrap, fill it all the way full, and then see if the tractor can handle the weight to dump it all out. Well, now we know we've got the right geometry to have a steep enough dump angle to eject the material. Now we need to find out if my tractor has enough capacity to lift and dump this hopper completely full. So we're going to pull out of the scrap pile here, load the hopper full, and see if we can still dump. I want to pause here real quick and get ahead of some comments and emails that I know I'm going to get when people look at this scrap pile. I've gotten a number of comments and emails already saying that I should be utilizing this material, bundling it, selling it as kindling bundles, and I already have probably 4 full IBC totes of good kindling that I have picked out, but I just generate so much of it, it would eat up all of my time trying to pick the good kindling out of here. If anybody wants to come get it and not let it go to waste, bring your dump trailer. I will load you up. You can have it for free. Shoot me an email, hometownacres@outlook.com. What I know is going to happen, though, everybody recommends it, but nobody's actually going to come and get it. So that's the answer to that. I create too much of it to sit here and sort through it. All right, that is about as full as I would ever let it get. And I'll tell you what, this is at least twice as much as what the old Ultratech dump trailer would hold. Now for the real test, let's see if we can pick it up and dump it. So we'll get onto some flatter ground and see how she does. All right, we're at 1500 RPMs. We're gonna go up to 2000. Oh yeah, no problem. 2 functions at once even. Lifting and curling. Now right here, I am all the way elevated as far as how high I can lift, so I could not dump my load on top of the pile, right? So I can't go up real high with it because by the time I get it dumped to an angle, the bottom of the dump hopper here is only 2 or 3 feet up off the ground. But yeah, I'm maxed out. I can't go up anymore. But I could, and I could shake it out like right here or something and be about 4 or 5 feet up off the ground, but I believe all the material is ejected as far as I can see here in the cab. But as long as I could get the pile down here, then I could put a bucket on and scoop it up and pile it up and, you know, build it up high so it takes up less room. So there you go, guys. The answer to all of my scrap problems are now solved underneath the barrel screener with this dump hopper. But one thing I wanted to talk about is, as you're looking at these things online, myself included, the question always comes up, well, how's that going to work in my situation? Will my tractor be able to lift it? Will it be able to dump it? Will it fit where I want to put it? And that's the beautiful thing about these partnerships with these companies, is you get to see real life video footage of a tractor using it for something you might be using it for, and whether your tractor can handle it or if it's going to fit where you want to put it. So it really is a win-win-win. You guys get to see it in action versus just looking at pictures of it on a website and seeing dimensions. You get to see it in real life. It's a win for the company because they get the exposure, and it's a win for me because it solves a problem I had down here in the wood yard. So I did just talk to Express Steel. They're going to be offering a 5% discount now through August 20th if you use code HOMETOWN at checkout. So if anybody's interested in it, now will be the time to go check one of these out. I could see a million different uses for this thing, not just catching scrap off of the barrel screener. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.